Hello everyone, this is Crypto Maximalist. Welcome back to another video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and get involved if you like the content. So we're just taking a look at Verasity here, and as we can see, really not much has happened over the past few days, other than the fact that we have got above our 20 EMA here, and looking like we are still consolidating in between the 20 and the 55. The EMAs are getting closer and closer together like this, and sooner or later, if we do see ourselves, in the market in general, Bitcoin heading up, we're probably going to see Verasity start to head up towards, back up towards these levels. Obviously, the volume and the interest in Verasity right now, very, very low indeed. Which is quite simply because, we have been in a bear market for essentially the past year, haven't we? And if we take just a quick look at how far we have actually dropped off from that all-time high there down to that low, we're down around 95, almost 96% to that swing low there, which is a massive amount. And as we said before, that is generally how far you fall before you do start to see altcoins consolidating and rallying to the upside, or at least just chopping it sideways for a good amount of time. We've seen pretty much every single altcoin drop around 90-95%, and then essentially just, start to consolidate, which is what we've kind of been seeing for Verasity here as well. The sellers are getting pretty exhausted, aren't they? You can see clearly on the MACD here, we've got huge bullish divergences in regards to, we're losing momentum to the downside, but the price has been falling and falling. Now looking like we have actually had a prolonged period of bullish momentum in the market for the first time in a good while, really, haven't we? Where basically, even though the price has been dropping, you can see how small the volume is in general. Really, we have just been, essentially coming back up to retest this previous level of resistance, which we have broken. Now looking like potentially we are going to see ourselves heading to the upside if we are correlated to the market in general. So it's a really good thing that we are getting above our 20 EMA specifically. The last time we did this was here. We could see we actually coiled up just like we're doing now in between our two EMAs, followed by running up to that previous level of basically resistance, previous level of support here, which has been flipped into resistance. We rolled over and made some lower lows, but now looking like we're coiling up again. And if we do see bullish movement in the market, as we've said, we are probably going to be heading up towards that 0.75 cent level up here like this, in our opinion. That would be the most logical target. As you can see, we're performing up very similarly to how we did here, coiling up inside the EMAs, and then we ran to that top of that, basically that top of that range that we've kind of formed here as a target. You can see coiling up here again, and if we do head to the upside here as well, that would be the logical target in our opinion. Obviously, we do have a few swing highs and that we do need to be seeing. Getting ourselves up at that 0.5 cent level is being a psychological resistance as well. But Verasity is doing what it needs to do, isn't it? The volume's low, the interest is low. It's just basically been chopping it sideways for the most part over the past few months, past 6 months really, just slowly dropping off, everyone losing interest. And that is usually what happens before. These entries are incredible for Verasity. Even just heading back up to that 9 cent all-time high, you're looking at around a 25x from the current price, aren't you? Which is, those are some odds that I would take for sure. So, if you get a 25x from here, even if you just threw like, $1,000 in there, that's 25k just back to the all-time high over the next few years. And just, in comparison to a lot of cryptos, Verasity does actually have really good fundamentals, doesn't it? So very, very interesting. Obviously, you can see before it's had huge parabolic moves. We've had this massive move to the downside. Now it looks like we are basically consolidating for that next move, aren't we? So if I just throw the fibs on this chart, you'll be able to see essentially where we're at right now and some of our targets. Dragged from the high of the previous bull market to this low that we're currently seeing. And as you can see, obviously the fibs are always very, very, very strong indeed. These levels of support and resistance, very, very critical. You can see here that, it preempted essentially that move there, that 0.23. You can see we've come down, we've made the low, and now you're probably, as we said, expecting our next target to be back up to retest that level there at that 0.23 level if we're kind of forming a double bottom like this. And if that's the case, we're probably going to see some upside for Verasity, especially if it correlates to the market, as we are seeing some, decent amount of upside in the market over the past week or so. So we'd say those short-term price targets then, if we break up above our EMAs and backtest, we are, targeting over the next month or so, the top of this, this 0.23 level here at the top of this previous resistance at 0.75 cent. If we roll over, as we said, we're probably going to be retesting that low at around that 0.0035 level. So overall, Verasity, it's boring, but it's doing what it needs to do. It's just going sideways for now. It's not dead by any means in our opinion, just like many, many cryptos that have low volume right now and low interest. Once people start flooding back into the market when they see Bitcoin pumping, Verasity is probably going to be one of those cryptocurrencies that is going to see a good amount of upside in our opinion. So That's it for today, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to check out the links in the description below to support the channel. Grab yourself some free money bonuses, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video.